these are the eightfold paths for our development. Not only trainer development for anyone. This can be applicable. First one is realize the dynamics of working with people, especially soft skills trainers, because our topic is also related to communication and behavior. So we need to understand that we are in people business, and in people business, as you pointed out right at the start, very critical is patience and common sense. These two are very critical. So if a trainer is good with these two, then other things we can learn over a period of time. So patience and common sense very critical, because we are dealing with people. There will be different kinds of people. Those things we will be discussing in the next session. Different types of personality types. People, the personality types, and how exactly these people behave in a training room. The same set of people when they go on the job, how they behave. There are certain people who behave differently when there is change in the dynamics of gender. Like certain guys behave differently in front of a group where there are more girls, and vice versa. So all these things has to be kept in mind while you're taking forward the activities, especially in the training programs. Because if someone is not truthful, or is not able to be himself or herself in your training program, then that end training, the learning effectiveness will get impacted. If someone is getting shaken, if some if, let's say there are two three ladies in the team, and the guy is not able to concentrate or not able to be himself when you're conducting the training, then you won't be able to do justice to him, nor to the organization through the training program. So these things also needs to be, we need to keep in mind. So realize that dynamics of working with people. So we need to be very unbiased and objective, and non-judgmental. We shouldn't be judging people at the drop of the hat. So we need to understand that people are behaving that way for some reason. There is a reason for why someone is behaving in a particular way. And as trainers, when we understand this aspect, that someone is behaving in some way because of this reason, then it's like doctor. We have identified the reason, then we treat that reason, right? So doctors cannot be judgmental, right? They have to identify what exactly is the cause, and give the treatment, right? So it's very critical that we understand this. Second is understand the expectations of all stakeholders and strive to delight them. So we already discussed who our stakeholders are, and understanding their expectations is very critical. Now, in my own experience, I can tell you mostly your initial hindrance when you start your career as a trainer will be the respective department head. Let's say if you are doing a sales training program, then it would be the sales training head, SME. So the SMEs, the line managers, and the HODs, people who are in the mid managerial and above category, they would be your biggest hindrance initially. So can you tell me why? Why do you think so?
I am doing work in a certain different manner, then it might be a question for them like, no, this should be done in this manner. Or there are some people who want to follow only a um, single path, as to no, you have to stick to this thing. Anything if we deviate from the path, then they are like, no, this is not going to work, you have to do it this way only. So sometimes these things might be a hindrance from these managers or the people.
Right. So usually the reason is, see, in your case, because I said that initially you would be getting training assignments for entry level, and the kind of companies that would call you initially when you start off as a soft skills trainer wouldn't be, very big brands. So that means there are a few basic challenges with regard to people and process will be there, so that we need to mentally prepare ourselves. So you won't be going and doing training program in the Googles or the Facebook of the world initially, right? So it will be, mid-sized companies or startups, those kind of companies, or campuses where we go, and we all know how work culture is in campuses, very laid back kind of government organization kind of work culture, right? So when people and processes are not aligned, as in, if everything is not running as a well-oiled machinery in an organization, then anyone who is coming as a new entrant, especially a trainer or a quality control guy, even a quality control guy, people who come for quality control or people who go for audit, so these people are seen as a threat. So the main reason why you would face hindrance from these people is insecurity. Okay, so they would foresee you as someone who would point out to few shortcomings in the department, or certain things have not been done in the right way. So they would scare, they would see you as a threat. So because they see you as a threat, they would try to scare you away. They would kind of initially they would throw a lot of hindrances and challenges at you. Either many times I have faced that the training rooms will not be ready, they will not give you the participants on time. Most of the participants will not be interested, they would be not taking you seriously. Or they would come in and they would kind of try to uh, put you in the wrong place, kind of handle your ego the wrong way. They would try to put you in that hot seat and try to kind of corner you in front of everyone in the training room. So you need to be prepared for these things as well initially. This is, you ask any soft skills trainer who has worked for at least 2 to 3 years, they would tell you initially they have faced all these things when they started. Once you cross that phase, the first 2 3 years, once you cross that phase, then it will be very very easy for you to handle any training program, because you would know when you enter the organization first where you have to go. You have to first go and meet the respective head of the department. You have to become kind of hand in glove with them, then your life will be easy. Once you get their buy-in, then it's very easy for you to maneuver around, and you can get things done as per your liking from them later on. But initially getting their buy-in is very very critical. It's difficult and critical. If you don't have buy-in from the reporting manager, or the head of department, then no matter how big the training order is, most likely we will fail. So you have any questions or anything you want to ask, you can ask.
um, People, they could we could face any kind of hindrances, right? Whether they don't provide us with they could, for example, a mic or a proper auditorium or something, so these also count into hindrances, right?
Absolutely, this has happened actually. All these things that
Yeah,
you mentioned, right? It has happened with me, many of my friends who worked as trainers. So this is a
yeah.
common thing, especially when you go to colleges. You think from the HOD's point of view, or a training and placement officer's point of view. Now वो लोग कैसा सोचते हैं कि कम ऑन, ये बंदा बाहर से आ गया, हम लोग 3 साढ़े 3 साल से, लेट्स से दे आर इंजीनियरिंग स्टूडेंट्स, तो इनको हम लोग 3 साढ़े 3 साल से पूरा सिखा रहे हैं, ये 1 महीने के लिए ये बंदा आएगा और ऐसा बात करके चला जाएगा जैसे हम लोगों ने कुछ किया ही नहीं, ये बंदा 1 महीना आके चले गया, इसी से पूरा प्लेसमेंट हो गया, उस टाइप का. So
Yes.
they are kind of reluctant, or they have that hindrance, नहीं चाहिए ऐसे बंदे times.
Yeah. Right.
So
मतलब, they might be thinking कि if we are nurturing them or teaching them from, for example, say the last 3 years, past 3 years,
right,
and this guy will suddenly come up and he or she will just say a few things and go, and is this the only thing required for these students? So they
right.
are actually reluctant. Yeah.
राइट राइट तो उस चीज में हम लोगों को इनिशियली मालूम नहीं पड़ता था हम लोग व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड बिकॉज वो स्पॉटलाइट में खड़ा होके बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग वी हैड आवर इंडस्ट्री एक्सपीरियंस अराउंड 6-7 साल का एक्सपीरियंस था वर्क एक्सपीरियंस सो एज ट्रेनर्स वी यूज्ड टू शेयर आवर वर्क एक्सपीरियंस विद द स्टूडेंट्स तो एक हफ्ता 10 दिन जो भी हम लोग टाइम स्पेंड करते थे the students just they used to get attracted to our style of communication because we were just around 7-8 years elder to them, so they were able to connect well with us with our experience the way we talk. Their professors were in their 50 plus around 60, so they would look at their professors as their dad parents. So वो obviously वो ये क्या कहते हैं जनरेशन गैप भी रहता है initially when you go to these colleges and connect and all. तो that was another reason. तो हम लोग initially बह जाते थे. We used to go in that flow. अरे इतने लोग ताली बजा रहे, इतने लोग वाह वाह बोल रहे हैं, तो we used to forget this very very critical aspect. And उसके बाद क्या होता था after a couple of days we never used to get a call from अरे इतना अच्छा तो हमने ट्रेनिंग किया सभी का इतना बढ़िया फीडबैक आया फिर वहां से बुला क्यों नहीं रहे हैं फिर से ये लोग. तो देन वी रियलाइज अच्छा ये है रीजन. उसके बाद में हम लोग क्या करते हैं सो फर्स्ट वी गो देयर स्टूडेंट्स वगैरह सबको वी विल टेक देम ऑफ कोर्स उन्हीं को तो हमको पढ़ाना है वी विल गो देयर लेटर फर्स्ट यू गो टू द रेस्पेक्टिव एचओडीज and you speak with them nicely you appreciate their experience you connect with them well and you tell them that because of their contribution their students are better than other colleges, so you edify them and then you get to the classroom and then speak and while you are speaking in front of the students there also you edify the professors उनको edify करके then when they get to know that yeah ये बंदा he is not a threat to us then mutual edification starts as in they also start edifying you. अरे हाँ वो सर अच्छे हैं वो मैम अच्छे हैं जो वहां से आते हैं from that consultancy yeah they are good. तो that is how we'll have to get there by वरना तो खत्म एक सेशन होगा उसके बाद में we won't get.
Right, making them comfortable uh, is a critical requirement while we go for our training.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And the same thing with regard to corporate companies or any other company. So because we understood the first point हम लोग जो discuss किए, we are dealing with people. So dynamics of working with people, यही सारे चीजें होते हैं practically, whatever we are discussing. So the second point, as we understand the expectations of all stakeholders and strive to delight them. So this is what is required. Then work efficiently, speak effectively. That's our bread and butter we have to do. Then fourth is lead by example. Remember, you're always in the spotlight. ये चीज तो बहुत ही मतलब कठिन है डिफिकल्ट है स्पेशली व्हेन यू आर स्टार्टिंग जब आप स्टार्ट कर रहे हो एज अ ट्रेनर आपको ऐसा लगेगा कि हर मिनट आपको समन इज वो एक आदत सा पड़ जाएगा आपको आफ्टर ट्रेनिंग आल्सो व्हेन यू आर गेटिंग बैक होम आपको ऐसा लगेगा कि एवरीवन इज लुकिंग एट यू एवरीवन इज लुकिंग एट यू तो कुछ दिन आपको लगेगा ऐसा बट आफ्टर दैट यू विल गेट यूज्ड टू इट. देन आफ्टर दैट आपको अगर ट्रेनिंग कहीं प्रोग्राम नहीं मिलता है तो देन यू विल फील बैड अरे I'm missing that spotlight. That's how you'll feel. So leading by example in that spotlight because we are always there in that spotlight. We are in that glass house. So it's required that each and every move, each and every word that we utter, each and every action is carefully accounted for. We are in control of ourselves. The best thing to when we are dealing with these freshers and all, leading by example कुछ नहीं हम लोग if we are able to just share our experience हम लोगों का जो भी work experience है वो share कर लेंगे and उसमें very critical is we should be very very open and candid about our mistakes ऐसा नहीं कि we are always sharing our the positive aspects itself, because all of us are mortals, and we do our share of mistakes. So the more proactive we are while we are highlighting our own mistakes, more well connected students become. Few people, as you know, especially in the corporates, who are very very tough taskmasters, especially as a soft skills trainer. अगर आप sales training में हो, तो जो बीडी हेड रहता है या जोनल सेल्स मैनेजर रहते हैं या नेशनल सेल्स हेड रहते हैं, दे आर वेरी वेरी डिमांडिंग। आपसे आपका जीना मुश्किल कर देंगे, कि बोलेंगे कि और चाहिए, और ट्रेनिंग करो, ये रिजल्ट चाहिए, वो रिजल्ट चाहिए। सो एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी असर्टिव, एंड यू हैव टू टेल them नहीं, इससे ज्यादा we won't push, we'll burn them out, we will burn our resources out, we shouldn't overdo things. So somewhere we have to be assertive as well, but वो assertion to make them understand our point of view, it will take some time. Initially हमारा कोई नहीं सुनेगा corporates में, when you start your training उन्हीं का मनमानी चलेगा, वो बोलेंगे इतने घंटे का ट्रेनिंग करो, या फिर you do on the job calls with them, इतने calls मेरे को चाहिए ही चाहिए। But आप when you buddy up with your trainees, and when you go on the ground, and on the ground when you see that from point A to point B travel करके वहां पे जाके sales call करने में क्या क्या challenges है on the ground, when you see that and when you work with them for around 1 week, then you actually you understand, क्योंकि many a time what happens is the national sales head, or someone who requires who is expecting results from you, they may not be aware of the ground realities. So there again, a role of a soft skills trainer is you are kind of a bridge between the top management and the grassroots guys, and you should ensure that injustice is not done to anyone. Ultimately, the organization shouldn't suffer. क्योंकि अगर let's say out of 10 sales guys, 4 or 5 sales guys quit because of this extreme pressure, then the organization is going behind again, क्योंकि उनको और ये 5 लोगों को रिक्रूट करने में टाइम लगेगा, फिर से ट्रेनिंग कराना है, फिर से again if they start pushing again they will go back. So smart way is to control, allow them to handle these people carefully, and we should be those facilitators as soft skills trainers. So we should also not overdo, and at the same time we shouldn't allow our resources to be burned.
One more thing, in my CHRMP sessions, while we are given a chance to interact and keep our points and our understanding, and so that the trainer or the uh, trainer is more clear about our thoughts, and he or she can explain us back. But there are a few people who don't even listen to the trainer, and they keep on speaking and speaking and speaking, and let the session get delayed and everything. So I have noticed such things in even my workplace, even at my workplace. That there are people who keep on speaking and they just don't want to listen to anyone, and they end up creating a mess, and the session is just not effective anymore for anyone.
Okay. See, now I am in a stage where I can kind of directly tell any mid managerial guy, or even to certain extent few senior management people, if someone is creating some unwanted mess in the training program, then I have learned the knack of being assertive, little offensive also, and still get away without business getting affected for us. But to reach that stage you should have kind of made few people, you should have those network of people who would stand by you, or these people themselves in the training room, the way you tell should share the shit out or scare the shit out of them. अरे नहीं नहीं, I'll sit in my place टाइप का। तो वो आने में थोड़ा टाइम लगता है। In your example, जो आप CHRMP का example दे रहे हैं, maybe uh, keeping business in mind, I think that's the reason the trainer may not have been that assertive, because the trainer wants to balance business and the learning delivery. बट दैट्स व्हाट वो सभी चीजों को बैलेंस करने के लिए इनिशियली वी विल फेस ऑल these problems over a period of time you will be able to learn it. तो आप भी when you would start your training career you would face all these problems like तीन चार लोग रहेंगे वो बक बक करते रहेंगे, एक दो तीन लोग रहेंगे वो मुंह ही नहीं खोलेंगे, तो उस टाइप के रहेंगे, दोनों एक्सट्रीम्स रहेंगे. तो you will be required to balance and kind of handle all types of people.
Correct, correct.
Yeah. But all said and done, we need to ensure that these people are not overdoing anything, and there is a healthy work-life balance, especially when it comes to corporate environment. Then synergize your team's effort by aligning to the business goal. So that is very very critical. All the activities and the training programs that we customize. Uh, हम लोग उसको समझेंगे in the next session how exactly we customize through the ADDIE model. Business understanding the business goals is very very critical. तो बिजनेस गोल्स को जितने हद तक हम लोग पैरामीटर वाइज उसको क्लियरली डिफाइन कर सकते हैं, मेट्रिक्स दे सकते हैं बिजनेस गोल्स को using smart goal setting, it becomes lot more easier for us to design training program तैयार करते हो, क्लासरूम वाला ट्रेनिंग बहुत कम एंड ऑन द जॉब वाला ट्रेनिंग बहुत ज्यादा, because challenges on the job ही ज्यादा हो रहे हैं and all these people have been already working in the organization, right? And then on job training में what are some of the things that you will do, and on job training में आपका contribution and training आप कैसे highlight करोगे, so all these things you would be doing, right? So these things we will be discussing when we are discussing the ADDIE model, especially customizing the training program. Team effort, इसमें आपको as you see fourth aspect, fourth point in this slide, 100% apply होगा. Leading by example, you will be actually be the flag bearer, the torch bearer when you're working with the sales people. एंड मैं सेल्स का इतना ज्यादा क्यों एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ आपको, क्योंकि वहीं पे आपको ज्यादा काम मिलेगा,
Okay.
क्योंकि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का पेन पॉइंट वही होता है ना, सेल्स. तो अगर
Yes.
इफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज एबल टू गेट सेल्स देन रेवेन्यू आएगा तो उनको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आपको पैसा देने में. बट
Correct.
दूसरे चीजों में उनको उतना इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, स्पेशली हमारे इंडियन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में. अब उनको बोलो स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट वगैरह करेंगे, वो पहले बोलेंगे पैसा लाओ, उसके बाद में स्ट्रेस मैनेज करेंगे. Okay, so that's how things work. Okay,
Yes.
so then you can see the seventh and eighth point, be open to give and take feedback, very critical for us. जो भी feedback देते हैं we should take it with a pinch of salt. Many of the feedbacks would be correct, relevant, many of them wouldn't be relevant. In some cases it may be little immature the way people give feedback, but we have to take it, accept it. ठीक है, आपका जो भी है सर आंखों पे, whatever is your feedback, सर आंखों पे types, you'll have to take it. And whatever is actually fine, good for us to implement, we need to work on it. That will help us in the long run, right? And then persist and don't give up, aspire to inspire. ये वाला जो tagline है मुझे बहुत पसंद है, aspire to inspire, because that will help us to keep going. काफी टाइम ऐसा होता है कि once you actually start doing the trainer's job, right, ऐसा लगता है कि it's a thankless job. मैं इतना सब कर रहा हूँ, no one is even recognizing my effort. ऐसा बहुत से दिन आपको लगेगा, but still there will be a day when people actually would recognize, your own trainees will recognize your effort, and the organization will recognize. थोड़ा time लगेगा. So till then we need to persist and we need to aspire to inspire. That is why we are in the HR domain or the training domain, right? So that is very very critical. So any questions you have with these eight four parts, you can ask me.
So overall, what I get to understand is the patience also plays a big role in this training process, right?
Very
Because
much. See,
See, if we get a negative feedback or something, so we should be open to take it in a manner that isn't aggressive. So otherwise, if someone is giving a feedback and we are saying no, you are wrong, so that won't be a correct manner of giving it back to someone. We need to give it in a manner that someone understands, and we also complete our word.
absolutely, absolutely. So how we give feedback, then of course we need to be good, because that's our bread and butter. Feedback, as in other words, counseling, how we convey what needs to be conveyed to the participants and also to the management. That is, of course, there. But how we take feedback is also very critical. I'll give you an example. In one of the colleges, very well-known university, there we had done few mock interviews for the students, and the requirement from the placement department was that we need to be very strict, and the interviews have to be very tough, kind of, stress interview kind of interviews, mock interviews. So this was instructed to our, empaneled interviewers, and we took those kind of, the stress interview kind of mock interviews. तो बाद में हमको feedback बहुत बुरा आया. So then we actually showed few recordings to जो भी बहुत कम feedback दिए थे, rating जो बहुत कम दिए थे for our mock interviews, क्योंकि हर mock interview तो recorded होता है, तो we showed that recording to few people in the university, and we were on the verge of losing business, and that's why we had to do that. Then they understand, अच्छा ठीक है, we cannot always take feedback on the face value, so we need to understand that not always feedback is given in a matured way, so it happens.
Yes, and as the saying goes, हर सिक्के के दो पहलू होते हैं. So we need to look at both the ends. What's going on? We can't rely on the information given by one part of it, or
Absolutely,
one side of it.
absolutely.